guys, I hope you're having a great day. I have wandered down here to the river again. It is a beautiful, beautiful day here. I'm loving this weather. I'm ready to get on the road and do some metal detecting. My detector's back. Well, alrighty, let's get into it. Today I wanted to talk about two relics that are a first for me, and one of the reasons why I don't clean a lot of my relics. A lot of people get on me about that. Why don't you clean your relics, and why haven't you cleaned up these bullets? Well, I'm going to show you a little bit of why in today's episode. But first I want to tell you about the relics themselves. Now, I grew up in Virginia, and I consider myself a Virginian, even though I live in Tennessee now. And these two relics were relics that I found on a trip to Virginia to metal detect with my good friend Richie. Now, I've talked about Richie in a couple other episodes, and Richie passed away earlier this year. So these relics have a little bit of extra meaning in that not only were they some of my first Virginia relics, but they were also found with my good buddy Richie. So let's take a quick look at them. This first relic I want to show you, Richie and I had been hunting a colonial home site. It had a large field around the back of the site, and we'd been digging a lot of just regular flat buttons and colonial type items. When I got a signal, I thought it was going to be another flat button, and it popped out of the ground as a little dark disc. And at first I thought it was another flat button that the shank had broken off of, but I flipped it over and I saw a pattern of a cross on the back, and I thought, oh, this is a coin. But I thought maybe it was a token or something like that. I had no idea what I had. When I got home, I'd cleaned it up some. I sent a picture to Dad, and it turns out that what I had found was my very first Virginia halfpenny. Now, Virginia halfpennies were only minted between 1773 and 1774, so there is a relative scarcity to them, although a lot of diggers dig these up in Virginia, and they're relatively common find. But for me, it was a first, and it is one of my most treasured coins for sure. Early coin, before America was America, so pretty neat coin. The second relic I want to show you from that trip, and this is one that exemplifies part of the reason why I don't clean my relics anymore. But this second relic is a button I found as we moved back in closer to that house. Now, we got up next to the staircase, and I had been digging a lot of clad coins from the 70s, and I was kind of getting discouraged, but I knew there was good relics there, and I was determined to see what was going to be up close to this house. So I got a signal, thought it was going to be a penny, and I dug down about 6 inches, and out popped this button. Now, it was pretty rough when I found it, I will say that much. But I sat there and I rubbed it and I rubbed it, and I came home and I dipped it in olive oil, and I've done a lot of things. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But the button itself is a one-piece Virginia button. This is pre-Civil War. It has the Young and Smith, New York back mark. And it is actually a really great button that I'm really happy with, super proud of. It was my very first Virginia button. But when I got home, I cleaned and rubbed and scrubbed, and then I dipped it in olive oil and I left it, and it just came out hideous. And I'm honestly super disappointed in myself for having gone so overboard trying to clean this button. But with that said, it is my very first Virginia button. It certainly made me happy to find it. I'm certainly happy to have it because of the memories associated with it and hunting with my buddy Richie. But it is a good example of why I don't really clean my relics much anymore. I don't ever want to overdo it, and that's something I can always do in the future is clean them, but if I go too far, I can never get it back. So anyway, little insight into two of my first Virginia relics and why I don't clean relics. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you tomorrow.